What's up, Mortgage Coach community? Dave Savage here. I am having a conversation with Alex Varela out of Grapevine, Texas. What's up, brother?
What's up, man? How are you?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. So how is business? We're talking, for anyone who's listening, it is the middle of May of 2020, and we're like 5 or 6 weeks into quarantine. And how are you doing, brother?
We're doing really good. We're actually, like I think a lot of people, just breaking records. We're having record production months. We have people on staff who are they just can't believe what's going on with these rates. And right now we're just really we just lack the humans to do all the work, so it's definitely, weird to be working remotely or from home and to have everything going on. But in our small little, world, things are awesome. We're having a really good time doing bunch of loans.
What kind of numbers, like how many families did you help last month, and what do you think you'll do this month?
Yeah, so we had 14.5 million last month, and it's probably close to 55 loans. I'm pretty sure that was probably the unit count on it. This month, we'll see how it ends up. I know from what we're predicting should be north of 75 units, and then maybe
Wow,
close to 18 million or something like that. So,
that's crazy, man. And you always do over 400 loans a year, don't you? That's kind of a
around there. Yeah, we've been having a hard time breaking that 500 number, but yeah.
I know. This is the year, brother. This is the year.
I think it might be. Yeah, hopefully.
Yeah. Well, everybody listen to this. Most people I talk to, are killing it right now. They're breaking records. They're doing a lot of production, which means being efficient and effective has never been more important. Most people I know are doing all of their client meetings 100% virtual. Maybe in Texas, that may not be the case, at least for the past week or two. But guys, for a long time to come, the world has changed. Grandma and grandpa know what Zoom is. And, consumers, I would say at least 5 years of digital transition has taken place, adoption of digital technology, and not just in the mortgage industry, I'm talking about in the world. So what are your thoughts on that? Because you used to meet most everybody in person. Where do you think the puck is going for your mortgage practice? What do you think the mix will be after we get out of quarantine era?
Yeah, I think a lot of what we'll do would be virtual. And I don't know if a lot of my employees will return to the office, period. Just because we've, been able to be probably more efficient virtually than we have in person or doing things like that. And I think the real saving grace for us is that people understand it now. So instead of wanting to come to the office, they are accepting the invitation to do a WebEx or a video chat or something like that. And it's people, you're right, of all ages, my, real estate, my estate planning attorney, he's in his 70s, and, he was like, hey, are you comfortable with a virtual meeting? I was like, yeah, of course. And he's like, I don't think I'm going back, I don't think I'm going to meet people anymore. And I'm like, don't, just use the technology. So I think you're right. I think that it's definitely changed and made it aware that it is easy, and this is the best way to do things, So I think in the future, we'll probably implement it a lot, if not even probably push people towards it, because it's a time saver for us.
Yeah, right. I think that is the difference. There's so many loan officers that were trending and still trending. Let's meet in person. We know that that's where the most trust is created. That's where the best conversion from lead to loan is created. But the world has gone virtual. And again, we will still meet with people in person. It just will be more selective, and everybody needs to dial in their virtual experience. So let's talk about the virtual experience, because the other thing I know you're passionate about is education. You've always considered education, the way you educate families, to be your competitive advantage. So walk us through what powers your digital or your virtual educational experience.
Yeah, absolutely. So, most people have all the questions that, that you expect them to ask, right? They want to know, what's the cost? What's my break even? Is this a smart decision? And usually I just stop them and I'm like, look, I have a software that does all of this for us. It's going to take all of the difficulty out of the situation. I'm going to send it to you. We'll review it together and you'll be good to go. Right? So for us, we just go straight to mortgage coach. We don't even I don't even try to convince them that this is a good deal when they're dropping the rate 1.5 points, right? Like they still don't believe you. They're like, are you sure this is a good idea? What's my break even? How much principal do I pay down? And I'm like, look, don't even ask. Like, I'm going to send you a tool, a software that's what it does for you. And it's going to take all the pain out of this transaction. So we just really just jump right into mortgage coach. We're like, look, we're just going to show you, so we just skip the whole rebuttal process.
So mortgage coach is an important part. I want to make sure we unpack all the tools. Are you using any type of scheduling software like a Calendly, a link to schedule?
We do. We use Calendly, on our website, if you try to do an appointment with us or something like that, it's going to be, Calendly, which is,
and then
affordable.
So that's a part of your toolkit. What about, are you using video more? Are you using any video or text video? What kinds of videos are you doing?
Yeah, we do a lot of this, right? So we just do a lot of WebEx meetings, hey,
So WebEx is your platform.
Yeah, we use WebEx. And so we just go, hey, we want to talk about it. Are you comfortable doing a video chat? They're like, yeah, that's fine. We share our screen, that way they could see everything that we're looking at and go over different scenarios. So we use WebEx. Video, not so much. Text, really big. A lot of blast texting going on. We use, I think it was called, I have to ask my marketing person, but it's a little app we use. Basically, we just mass text our clients so we could get the word out. So we've been using that. But every now and then we'll video record just a video and text it, but probably lower on the list, but it is something that we do from time to time. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So let's get into the mortgage coach experience. So, I mean, my takeaway, your mortgage coach why is just, it's a easier way for you to give people clarity. Is that fair enough to say that's your mortgage coach why?
Yeah. I mean, it's pretty straightforward, instead of using an amortization schedule or, trying to convince somebody that it's a good idea, it just does it for us, so we just kind of jump right into it. Did you want me to?
Yeah.
share?
Why don't you pull one up? Let's, because it is such a refi market, and I do believe rates are going to go even lower. And so I don't think the refi market is a 1 or 2 month thing. What is your guess on where rates are going, or how are you planning for rates?
Yeah, I mean, in the current market, number one, I think that we just keep seeing more and more opportunity. I don't really believe that there's anything to really support the stock market going up in the last week or so, or the last couple weeks. I know it dropped yesterday, but there's no new jobs. There's no new, there's nobody spending money. There's no new economy. This is going to get really bad, in my opinion. And when it does, I mean, you can't have rates go up, so, we've been through it before. We've been through, the whole 2007, 2008, episodes where, they were just clawing and scratching and fighting to get the economy to perform, and it just didn't. And so what it left us with was really good interest rates during a period where people were foreclosing and, struggling. And I think it's going to happen again. So I think this is going to last for a couple years. I think for a lot of us that have been in the business and have a good book of business, it's going to get even better. And, people are going to start struggling. Americans are having a hard time as it is making their payments. And when that happens, you can't jack rates up. So we have first-time home buyers crawling out of the woodworks looking to buy a home because it's a great opportunity for them, and it's just where for some people it's rough. For others, this is the best time of their life because they're about to get a really good deal on a home.
Yeah, and they're going to lock in a rate at historically low levels. So tell us what we're looking at here, and then tell us how you describe this to a client.
Yeah, absolutely. Is it okay? Is it large enough on your screen?
Yeah, I see it perfectly.
Okay, cool. So this is Nicole. She's one of my repeat clients. She's not too savvy with all this stuff. She doesn't have, parents that are too savvy as well to kind of sit down and go over these things with her. She's an only child. So she's like, man, I really don't know. This is not my forte. Help me. And I'm like, oh, okay, absolutely. So we broke it down. You can see this is her current It's where she closed at. She really needs to refinance. You know, she closed at like 499. She put, you know, 20% down. It was a good loan at the time, but you know, here she is now looking at like, well, does it make sense to drop my rate to 3.25? And it's like one of those people where you're like, you know, it makes a lot of sense. It just depends on what you want to do. So this is something that we usually really try to push people to do is, I know a lot of people really like to save money, you know, instead of drop their term. So, you know, we come in here and we show her like, hey, you know, we could easily save, you know, $248 a month by throwing you back on another 30-year fixed rate. However, this is more like what we like to encourage people to do is drop your term. She's only been in this loan a year and a few months. So she can drop her term to a 25-year, move forward in the loan. We kind of like go over how much principal she's going to pay down. And she still saves $113 a month. So this would be more of what we would really like to do for her. However, she's a little scared. She's like, hey, you know, like times are uncertain. That's a good idea and all, but what if I just do the 30-year and when I can, I just, you know, reinvest the money. And so we got that one broken down here, and you can see that this is obviously the best deal is when she puts the money back in, she can pay off her home in about 22 years. So most likely this is the one that she's probably going to go with from our conversations, but real basic stuff that we do with them. And it breaks it all down, you know, estimated value of their home, their, you know, estimated loan amount, rates, you know, kind of the whole shebang there. We
So
usually, oh, go ahead.
Scroll down to the bottom real quick. I just want to so you notice it's monthly difference, and then you showed savings over 26 months. Why did you do 26 months and 15? Was that like an important time to her?
It was, yeah. So her question was, when do I start to break even? You know, at what point is this a good idea? What if I move? What if I sell? What if I do this? And so we kind of ran it a couple different ways. 26 months looks to be where she'll start recouping her investment over here. So she's just really concerned about it. You know, most people, it's about 3 years, but some is a little faster than others.
Great. And then guys, this is the fundamentals of how you give people the full tangible benefits of a loan. And one, it improves your conversion. 2, it reduces rate shopping. 3, it improves referrals, and it gets people off the fence. It's just clarity. I mean, clarity is the ultimate competitive advantage. So go up to the top one more time. I just want to make sure people see how intentional Alex is about the brand. You know, go to the very top. It's got his brand. It's got his picture. You know, just really clean. Anything else you want to show on this TCA?
Not necessarily on the TCA, but just to add, you know, to what you're saying when you say it prevents rate shopping. And I think a lot of times as loan officers, we don't know what the hell that means. So just to kind of like add to it, like so many times in the initial like few minutes of a conversation with a client, they say to me, I've learned more, I've heard more, you've taken more interest in me in 3 minutes that I've spoken to you than the other loan officer. And that's value. So when you talk about, hey, this prevents people from doing the rate shopping, it does, because they're satisfied with your service and they see they have something tangible in front of them that says, you know what, this service that this guy is providing is worth more than somebody else. And they're willing to pay the 1/8%. They're willing to pay the extra 0.5% discount point if that's what it takes to get your rate where the other guy is. So I think that is very important, Dave, is that we do take the time to do this, and it does decrease the amount of people that shop us. So I think you're right about that.
So go to the very top in that hamburger menu on the left-hand corner. Click on that real quick. I want to make sure folks don't miss that particular feature where you can translate the mortgage in Spanish. What percentage of your clients are Latino and appreciate that translation feature?
Yeah, so so the last stats, we do it yearly, so about 35% of our clients.
Yeah, so that you like that feature? Is that helpful?
We do, yeah. And so, you know, it's taken, so sorry, I wasn't clicking it properly, but here you go now. So a lot of what we've been doing is we've been taken on a lot of people on the team that are bilingual, a lot of loan officers that are bilingual, and they just haven't really had the tools or the person or somebody to really show them how to do these things. And so it's been really cool to have loan officers from other companies come to Prime Lending in general, or just come join the team and just use these tools, and they're just like blown away. They're like, man, I can't believe that this exists, or I can't believe that it's this easy to use. And clients too, even the clients that we speak to in Spanish, and they get this stuff, they understand money, and they appreciate this stuff. They're like, man, wow, like, thank you for showing me this. Nobody's ever done this for me. So it's a really
I love it. I love it. So let's close out on a couple key concepts I want to make sure everybody gets. And this, from a mortgage coach standpoint, these are what we believe are the 4 essentials to a smart mortgage decision. And I would push every loan officer to come up with your 4. So part of being the modern originator and delivering this virtual experience, it's the technology that drives it, and it's the education behind it. And so most loan officers, when it comes to what's the smart mortgage decision, it's rate, payment, cash to close. But the reality is, no, these are the 4 things: cash reserves, and this one is going to radically shift post-COVID, because people really only cared about, do I have enough money to qualify for the home that I want? With COVID, everybody's going to be a lot more concerned about, do I have the cash reserves to weather a storm? And do I have the cash reserves to invest in opportunities? And I actually think there's going to be a lot of people, and you tell me if you think I'm right on this, that are going to, like, I'm going to be able to sell my home because I have a lot of equity. I'm going to be able to take some chips off the table. Everybody wants an office now because more people are going to be working from home. Everybody wants a better kitchen because we're all going to be cooking more. And everybody wants a better gym, or whatever that recreation part of your house is. So I think there's going to be a lot of people like, can I have the best of both worlds? Sell, build up my cash reserves. I don't know. What are your thoughts on that, Alex? You think we're going to see a lot of that?
We're already seeing a lot of it. I'm surprised how many people are selling and buying still. Like it honestly blows me away. But yeah, we're seeing a lot of people do that. And on top of that, not only are they stacking that cash in their bank account, but they're also paying off debt, Dave, which is like super cool to see somebody.
Well, that's number 3.
Yeah.
Sorry,
go ahead.
No, you're totally right, because that's number 3. Every time you're with a family, and you don't need to go in this order, you go in the order that's relevant to the family. But number 1 is more important than ever and more strategic. Number 2, analyze the total cost over debt with choices. As a mortgage coach, you are uniquely armed to have this part of the conversation really well. Number 3, whether it's a purchase or a refi, make sure that you're analyzing total debt payoff. And then number 4, just like Alex did, always show strategies to accelerate the debt reduction. So those are like 4 things that I just want people to take away. And Alex, you guys are already doing this, and Mortgage Coach is just a piece of technology for you to ask questions around this and then show a family how they could do all 4 of these things. So guys, I would love to see examples of what are the 4 things that power your smart mortgage decisions. And I would also push everybody to have how to make a smart move up decision, have a path for that. And then do webinars with your realtors to their families where together you're saying, hey, let's meet with all your clients and talk to them about how to make smart move up decisions. And I will do a move up analysis for them. Or let's meet with families and do a move down analysis. Like, there's going to be a lot of people that are like, I just talked to someone and they had 2 loans where people wanted a smaller home, but they want a view now and they want a better kitchen and they wanted to take chips off the table because they can't do a cash out refi. So it wasn't a bigger home. It was just a different home that achieved, concept number 1. So Alex, anything you want to close out on? Any advice to loan officers in the mortgage coach community or loan officers on your team at Prime? Any closing thoughts for folks?
We've been trying to set ourselves apart for a long time, just in the way we approach consumers and handle things. And so, I would definitely say if you're not a mortgage coach fan, I would definitely jump on. I didn't even realize, but in my profile it said I've been a user since 2013, but I didn't even realize it's been that long, but you know, we haven't turned back, and you know, every year we use the tool more and more, and so every time somebody sees it, they say something. They're like, "Oh, this looks really nice," you know, like even the clients comment on the aesthetics of the presentation. So it's definitely a tool I think everybody should use, and I mean, it just gives you competitive advantage over the next guy.
And guys, it saves you time and makes delivering mortgage options more efficiently. And if rates are going to go down, every client that has a TCA, you could literally say, you could text them, hey, I've updated your total cost analysis. It's time to go. You could have put a video on it if you want to do that. And so it's a massive time saver to drive more value for your clients. So Alex, dude, I appreciate the leader that you are at Prime, and every time I've done, I think this is the third or fourth interview that you and I have done. Appreciate all the value you bring to our community, brother. Appreciate you. And community, if you got value from this, give us a like, share it with your mortgage friends. Anybody who's a manager watching this, I recommend that you have your team watch this video and then have a quick WebEx, Zoom, whatever virtual platform you have a meeting to help everybody get the best digital mortgage experience you can. Take care, everybody.